Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of Crystals with Kate. So this week for our podcast, we are going to be talking all about Aventurine. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. So Aventurine is a form of quartz. It does have mica inclusions in it, and that is what gives it its beautiful colors. So there are a bunch of different colors of Aventurine. So the most popular is green Aventurine, and that has fuchsite inclusions in it that gives it that green hue. We also have a red Aventurine. We're pretty sure that the inclusions there are hematite that give it that color. Next up is blue Aventurine, and that gets its color from dumarite. In general, Aventurine is also called the Stone of Opportunity. A little bit on its background in terms of its geology. So it is a silicone oxide just like quartz is, so hence the similarities. And again, it can come in any array of colors from orange to red, green, blue, and purple. It is mainly found in China, India, and Brazil. And again, since it is so similar to quartz, its hardness is going to be between a 6.5 and a 7, and quartz is normally right at a 7. So the next thing we are going to do is talk about the physical, mental, and emotional healing properties of Aventurine. Alrighty, so in terms of its physical healing properties for Aventurine, it is known to balance our nervous system. It also has been known to help with fertility issues. It also, along with balancing that nervous system, it's going to help to regulate your thymus, which is located in your brain, which also then helps to lower your blood pressure. Alright, let's chat a little bit about our mental emotional healing properties as well. Aventurine's a really good stone to use if you feel like you have a lot of big decisions to make and you're not really sure what to do. It helps to encourage that decisive action. It also is known for bringing that abundance and positivity into your life. So if you are going through it and you just need some abundance, some positivity, it's a wonderful crystal to work with. It's also really good if you want to open up the space to be able to heal your old wounds. For me, blue Aventurine really speaks to this for me. I feel like part of it's the color correspondence. I also just was really called to it working through my own stuff. So I love some blue Aventurine when I want to work through some of my old wounds and some trauma. It's also really good for letting go of just being over analytical of yourself. As a person, and as a young adult, you expect yourself to be in all these places and you're just not. And sometimes it's really hard. And it makes you pretty overcritical of yourself. And that's definitely something I really, really struggle with. So I really work with Aventurine a lot in terms of trying to ease that. All right, so metaphysical properties, because I know that's what all of my crystal gals and guys are here for. So again, helping you overcome those old patterns. So if you have a habit that you want to kick, whether it's being self-critical or, you're too hard on yourself or you're biting your nails or maybe you want to put the vape down or whatever it may be, it can kind of be a good stone in helping you overcome the negative behaviors you have that can help trigger the want for whatever it is or the pattern or lead you back down that path. It's also really good again for clearing those blockages, helping you work through some of those tough situations and your trauma. Along with that, it's known to prevent getting stuck in a rut. And in your trust issues especially. So if you're the kind of person who just kind of gets stuck in a rut and they don't really know what to do or where to go, this is definitely a really good crystal to work with when you kind of feel lost. Same thing goes with those trust issues. If you just keep running into this wall where you're really struggling to trust somebody, Aventurine's really good about opening up your chakra and your mind so you feel more trusting and you feel more at peace trying to build these relationships with people. And then again, it obviously is associated with prosperity and confidence. Prosperity, everyone knows green Aventurine as your money stone, but also confidence, because if you have the abundance and the prosperity that you need to feel secure, your basic needs are going to be met, then from there that you will be able to have a little bit more oomph and some more pep in your step, if that makes any sense at all. All right, so when we come back, we are going to continue to talk about green Aventurine. We're also going to dive into blue, red, and yellow and their special properties, but we are going to take a break real quick. And now for a quick break to talk about the ways to support the podcast. If you are enjoying what we are doing here on Crystals with Kate, I am so very happy that you are enjoying it. I just wanted to give you a few ways that you can help support the show. The first way is by following us on TikTok and Instagram, which will be linked in my link tree below. I am a small crystal business owner. Any orders to my website or my Etsy shop would be very much appreciated. I also have a spot on my link tree for donations for divination practices such as pendulum readings and tarot spreads. And last but not least, I do have a Patreon for our show. My Patreon has 4 tiers and they are each named after a crystal. The first tier is the Jasper tier, and that starts at $3.33 a month. That gets you early access to podcasts and they are absolutely ad-free. It also gives you a copy of my metaphysical notes for my crystals. Next is the Quartz layer, and that is $7.77 a month. That gives you, again, ad-free early access, and that gives you full crystal notes. So all of the things I'm talking about now, if you wanted a more detailed grimoire page, would be included. My next layer is the Fluorite layer, and that is $22.22 a month. Again, you get your full crystal notes, ad-free, and early access to the podcast. And then you also get Happy Mail from me. You get a monthly crystal mystery box, and that would be valued at about $15 to $20 worth of product. Next up, our last and highest tier is the Amethyst tier, and that is $44.44 a month. And once again, you do get full crystal notes, early access, and ad-free. And then you also get a monthly box for $35-ish worth of goodies. That is a guaranteed larger piece or jewelry. So it might be a ring or a bracelet. It may be a small tower, something that really makes this worth your money. So all of these are wonderful ways to support the show. Alrighty guys, welcome back. So now we are going to dive into the different colors of aventurine and what they specifically are known for metaphysically. And then as always, we will wrap up with their zodiac, planets, elements, and numerology correspondences. So we all know green aventurine. Green aventurine kind of took crystal talk by storm. Everyone uses it in their money bowls when they want abundance. It's also known for, like, good luck. It reminds me a lot of, like, the whole 4-leaf clover ideology about 4-leaf clovers being lucky. Same thing with green aventurine. So really the standout things that go with green aventurine is the good luck, the abundance, the prosperity. The next thing is blue aventurine. Blue in general is just a very calming energy. So it makes sense that blue aventurine is associated with being able to calm and balance your emotions. So if you have anything emotional that you want to work through or anything mentally that is just like a block for you, blue aventurine is definitely the way to go. It's one of my favorites to work with. It's really underrated in my opinion, but I do love it. The next one is red aventurine. Sometimes you'll see it called like strawberry aventurine. But that one is known for stimulating your root chakra. So if you have any issues that are associated with your root chakra, definitely the crystal to work with there. Your next one is yellow aventurine. Yellow is just so bright and happy. I get such good vibes just being around yellow aventurine. It's definitely a crystal I personally associate with like happiness and like being in a good spot mentally and like good mental health. But it's official, if you would like to call them that, metaphysical property is to like stimulate your creativity. So if you are artistic or you have things that you like to do, like maybe you like to draw or paint or make jewelry or knit or sew, whatever it is, yellow aventurine kind of really helps you to harness that in. Hey guys, so one more thing that I wanted to plug into this podcast right here are a few updates on the shop and the book. So if you guys did listen to our podcast from the other week, you guys will know that I am currently working on writing a book, and it's going to be called A Witch's Guide to Yule. My goal is that it'll be ready for publishing by Thanksgiving break. I really, really want to get it done. That way it is a good gift that you could get somebody and give them for Christmas or give them as a little early Christmas present. And basically going to be just like a little book. It walks you through the history of Yule, where it came from, its pagan roots, kind of how Christianity kind of just came in and associated it with the birth of Jesus Christ and the Christian faith. Different practices, crystals, herbs, all of the things that way you have a really good place to go for it. And my goal is that I will make one of these for each of the holidays for the Wheel of the Year. And I'm starting with Yule. That and Samhain are my two favorite. I just did not, with the wedding, have time to get the Samhain one out in time. Ideally, I would have loved to have started with Samhain, but it is okay. We are starting with Yule. So stay tuned for updates on that. The other big update and change is, if any of you guys follow me on TikTok and Instagram, you guys do know that I have recently opened an Etsy store. I do have my own site as well. However, I am going to be closing that site out at the end of November, and I will be solely operating through Etsy, and I am working on getting everything transferred over right now. So if you guys do want to hop over to my Etsy, I will definitely post the link below. I am running a Black Friday sale right now, so everything is on sale in my shop. I do have a lot of listings that are going to be posted between the next few days as well, and that Black Friday sale runs today all the way through the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So I will make sure you have access to all of that in my link tree down below. All right, back to the podcast for the last little bit. Alrighty, I promise no more interruptions. So, to finish our discussion on Aventurine, let's talk about its zodiac. So, as always, this does not mean that if you want to work with Aventurine, you can't or it won't work for you. It's just that if this is one of your big three, so your sun, your moon, or your rising, it is definitely a super great crystal for you to work with. And those two are going to be your Aries and your Taurus. So, definitely check out your birth chart for correspondence there. The planetary association for Aventurine is Mercury. Its element is water and earth, so it is associated with both, which I think is super exciting. And then the last thing is its numerology. So in terms of its numerology, it is associated with the number 3. So the number 3 is all about your cycles and them kind of like coming to an end. The bigger one that comes to mind for me here is the mind, body, soul cycle. I'm not really sure why, but when I was reading about numerology, I've always just associated the number 3 with like mind, body, soul, and then like life, death, rebirth cycle. It's also known as being an omen for creativity, curiosity. It is about communication, and it's also really associated with optimism, which I think is super fitting with everything else that I have talked to you guys for Aventurine so far today. So, we do have a little bit more. This is just a fun little blip that I decided to add because there's just so much fun information on Aventurine, and it's a little bit of fun facts. So, the Aventurine is known as the stone that was guarded shields of the Amazons. So, the people that used to live in the Amazon, your native peoples there, they had shields that they would use, and they had them decked out in Aventurine as a protective stone, which I think is super exciting. The places that I gave you that it comes from, the countries, so like Brazil and India, it's going to come from places there that are super, super high in their natural energy. So it's not just anywhere. Like the mines are super high frequency, which is why I think this crystal is so powerful, which in my opinion is why it is kind of slept on. I love Aventurine. It was also associated with the divine feminine in terms of the ancient Amazon culture. And it also comes from the Italian word for chance, which is Aventura. So there is a lot of little fun facts and tidbits there. All right. So as always, we will close out with our chakra associations. So green Aventurine is associated with your heart chakra. Yellow is your sacral and solar plexus chakras. And then your blue Aventurine is going to be associated with your third eye and throat chakras. So, this was quite the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Our next episode on next Wednesday is going to be all about smoky quartz. If you can't sense a theme, I have gone from grape agate, which has taken the crystal world by storm, to our more underrated crystals that I love. enter Aventurine and Smoky Quartz. So I will see you guys next Wednesday for another episode of Crystals with Kate. Thanks, you guys.